Welcome to the Fourth Down Experience, the podcast devoted to special teams. Your host of the Fourth Down Experience, former pro free agent, 9-year professional kicking coach out of the Midwest, Coach Chris Hughesby. Alongside Coach Chris Hughesby is a former 2-time Arena Bowl champ, 9-year pro kicking coach, repping the South, Coach Brian Jackson.
Hey, what's up, 40 Nation? We are here for week 2 of our industry news topics and discussion here. Quite a week for specialists, would you say, Brian?
Oh, yeah, lots of movement, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so I got a lot of stuff to talk about. We also just want to thank Pat McAfee again for being a fantastic voice for the brand and being supportive of giving us a soapbox to talk about these types of things too. So he does a good job for awareness for us kickers, punters, and snappers. So interesting stat, Brian. I saw last weekend there were, I think, like 19 missed kicks over the weekend, and I think just NFL too. So just not good for us kickers and everything like that. So hopefully we can rebound as a brand, as Pat McAfee would say.
Yeah, I mean, every week we're going to have a lot of great moments, and some weeks we're going to have some bad moments, and, it's early on in the season, so maybe these guys just needed to get some of the kinks out,
Yeah. I don't know about you, man, but my phone was vibrating with text messages and social media tags, and everybody was just asking about all these kickers missing. What was it like for you?
Yeah, it's funny. People still think that I'm still kicking or playing professionally or something. So people will still ask me if I still can go kick, and I'm like, it's funny. Even every high school specialist, people will say you can kick in the NFL. I think a lot of people think it's easy. It's a lot harder than people think.
Yeah, it sure is. I know on social media I've been kind of posting. I've been trying to come back just as a kicker and punter, but that's more because there's going to be this upcoming amateur league football game I'm going to play in, so I'm just trying to get myself right. But man, it's still hard to kick a field goal. It's not easy. But obviously on my end, I'm up in Minnesota, so because of the Vikings situation, that was kind of tough. And so let's just start off with that. Obviously Daniel Carlson just didn't really have a good game. 3 missed field goals, which didn't help. 2 misses in overtime. You feel for the guy, especially just being a former kicker. He ended up being cut the next day, which also sucks. I'm a big believer in you got to give your kicker confidence and let them know that you got their back whether you miss or not. It's nothing's worse than looking over your shoulder and wondering if the next guy's coming in. And so kind of how it went down, I would have given Daniel Carlson another chance, but NFL stands for not for long, man. What'd you think about that whole situation?
Yeah, I felt for him too. He's such a nice guy. He was on our podcast earlier in the season, and just a big thing in the NFL with kicking. It's just you got to make your kicks, and as much as we like the guy or these guys, just as much as people would like us, if we were missing our kicks, people maybe saying, hey, get him out of here, and it just sucked that it happened to someone that we're familiar with, and I think that it helped that Dan Bailey was available, so the Vikings may have took it as like we already went through the whole Blair Walsh deal. Kai Forbath was steady. Let's have a draft guy in Carlson. Now they're probably like, let's just go with a veteran, and so
yep.
I felt like personally, since it ended in a tie, they could have given him one more chance, but it is what it is, and I think Carlson will get picked up from someone else.
Yeah, I agree. Just tough how it went down. I kind of figured for the sake of the public and PR, they would have brought kickers in to train, and I'm sure once they realized, hey, Dan Bailey's available, let's just bring him in and do it. It's just how it went down, but just tough, and obviously tough as Vikings fan. We had a good chance to beat the Packers, and that's our rival, but it is what it is, and like what you said, man, Daniel Carlson, I'm sure he'll bounce back, get on a team within a few weeks again, and probably have a better career because he's learned from that mistake, or that experience. So, another guy didn't really have a great game, Zane Gonzalez. Again, cut by the Browns, missed 2 PATs, missed 2 field goals. That stuff's hard to see. Will Lutz ended up kicking a 44-yard field goal with 21 seconds to secure the win. So, good and bad vibes by our industry. A guy named Greg Joseph got signed by the Browns. I think he had a stint with the Dolphins. So hopefully he leads the Browns to a few wins.
Well, he did last night. I mean, he helped
Yep.
last night. His first kick was more of a squirrely kick, but he was able to put it through the uprights, and you could see his confidence grow as the game went on. He started kicking the ball a lot stronger as the game went on, and I think his last touchback that went through the uprights, the whole crowd just went crazy. So I actually sent him a DM this morning to see if he would want to get on the podcast here soon, and we'll see if he replies. He only has 4,000 followers right now on Instagram, so before he gets to like 500,000 followers, let's see if we can get him on the podcast early,
Yeah, thought the same thing too. So great job thinking.
But, I feel for Zane. I did see somewhere that he had a groin injury, so, that's probably why his follow-through wasn't finishing as normal as it looked. It looked like he was stopping on all of his kicks. So, a lot of people don't like to put out injuries just because they don't want to make excuses. So that may be a reason why he missed those kicks.
Yeah, and whether or not he disclosed it, that's always kind of a touchy subject. I remember when I was a senior, or my 5th year at St. Thomas, I twisted my ankle punting. I accidentally kicked the ground, and it was the week of our biggest game against St. John's, and I was fearful to talk about it, and I still had a decent game punting against St. John's, but it hurt, it didn't feel great trying to blast the ball, with their punting foot, but it is what it is, you want to keep your job and you want to keep playing, so, and that leads us to another point, Zerline got hurt, and that opened up the door for Sam Finken to eventually get signed, who was a guy we interviewed last season. Great interview, by the way, so you guys should listen to that one. But Johnny Hecker ended up kicking his very first career field goal against the Cardinals because of that injury. So it's, they always say a door closes and another one opens for somebody else, and, that's just the way the industry is and life,
Yeah, Sam Ficken is a fantastic kicker. He's a young guy, live leg. I think he's going to do really well. And Johnny Hecker is just a stud. He can do everything. He has one of the best passing ratings in the NFL as a punter. And then he strokes a field goal with ease. Dude, perfect videos. He's just the man. So, you're hurt for Zerline, but, chance for Sam Ficken to make a name for himself now.
Yep. Well, we didn't mean for this little podcast to be all negative, so there were some great things that happened. Some cool news. Dustin Colquitt of the Chiefs set a record for most games played as a punter for a single team with 208 games, which is pretty sweet. I guess I sort of thought there were punters that were around the game a little longer than that, but that's pretty cool for him, man.
For sure. Will Lutzy, our guy, Will Lutz, kicked a 44-yard field goal with 21 seconds left to help secure the win. So it's nice to see Lutzy in his 3rd year just playing like a true pro, man.
Yep. Another kicker like Vanateri that doesn't seem to go away and just has a long career. Janikowski drills a 56-yard field goal. That guy's going to be around for probably a few more years, I would guess. And he still got it at least.
Yeah. Jason Myers last night looked great with the Jets. All of his extra points looked real nice. Kickoffs, had a couple in the end zone. I mean, just kicking the ball real smooth, real well. It's got to be interesting going to New York and kicking for a team in New York. That's probably a lot of pressure.
Yeah, and what's interesting, as of today, when I pulled up some stats, he actually is leading kickers with Mason Crosby with 23 points. So he's having a good year after just kind of had a short stint with the Seahawks, but.
He's 6 for 6 on field goals with a long of 55 already.
Yeah, I mean, all you need is that one opportunity, that right situation. Another guy that we keep talking about, Michael Dixon, man, he does a drop kickoff, in the game, kind of resurrects that topic of drop kicks, and people weren't sure that was actually illegal to do, do a drop kick field goal, but he does it.
The drop kick kickoff. People know how to do drop kick field goals, but they didn't know that you could do the drop kick kickoff.
Yeah.
And that was cool. But what's interesting is there were like 50 people on Instagram that started posting their drop kick kickoffs afterwards. I'm almost like showing like, hey, Michael Dixon, I can do this too. Well, that's cool and all, but he's the one that did it in the NFL, man. Like, you got to give him props. But
Yep.
it is pretty cool, to see the kicking fraternity all come together.
Yeah, and he had another good game, 45.1 yard average on 7 punts. I mean, could you argue that he's already one of the best punters in the league? I mean, he's off to a hot start at least.
Is he a rookie this year?
Yeah, rookie.
He'd definitely be a prospect for a rookie punter of the year for sure.
Yeah. What was interesting, I pulled up the punt averages after 2 games. He's got the 3rd best average in the league. Gross average 51.5. Cam Johnson, who just got with the Eagles, he leads it with 53.9 yard average, and Sam Cook, I mean, that guy's he's a baller. So those 3 guys are the top punt averages in the league right now. So good for him, Or good
yeah, it's
for
pretty
them.
crazy that you have to start averaging 50 yards in the NFL to make sure you have a chance to even be in the NFL.
Dude, I remember back in the day, it was like 40 and 45 yard averages were considered good. Now you got to have like a 50 yard average to be in the be amongst the top.
Yeah,
so
it's pretty cool.
We're trying to cover all the different leagues, guys. College wise, it's hard to track everything, but the one standout performance that I noticed, and that was basically because I know you, Brian, and even watched the game on TV, is just Tyler Sumter had a phenomenal game as a punter for Troy. Long of 79 yards, 53.8 yard average on 5 punts. I mean, that's phenomenal. And they beat Nebraska. I mean, that's a huge upset. So, that was just a stand-up performance that I could find, in college, and I know there was a bunch of other ones. But what was it like for you to see even a guy you trained, do that on the big stage on TV?
Yeah, I mean, he's been coming to the trainings every Sunday, and he just looks effortless when he punts. I mean, I'm not too surprised that he did well. I'm surprised that he had the 79-yarder because that's unheard of. But just when he comes to training, he punts a really nice ball. But the win against Nebraska, according to Bratcher and Sumter, they already felt like they were going to win. They didn't feel like it was a upset. They felt like it was just a regular game to them. So that was a big game for Troy, and it was nice to see T. Sump, get Special Teams Player of the Week.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. And just going back to what you said, I know he's a longtime trainee of yours, but even the camps we've done together where he participated in, I mean, it was great to see him have that big leg, and just to even on my end, just to be able to just have a fraction of an influence or help. I mean, it's fun to see that in guys that do that on the big stage. So. But that's all we got, guys, for this week in industry news. I know some of you guys have submitted information. We try to track the best we can, social media, and we also want to keep these things short by highlighting the kind of the ups and the downs of the league. And so, thanks again, guys, for your support. We got some good interviews lined up here next week. So, thanks for sticking with us, and we'll see you next week.
Talk soon.
Later.
Thank you for listening to the Fourth Down Experience. Be sure to subscribe on iTunes. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fourth Down Experience.